Todd Baxter, employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Supervising Judge Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court, Paul C. Musher, James Money Jr., Pembroke Town Court. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been in jail 6 times. Monroe County Jail, Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail, Genesee, New York, and 6 times prosecuting Todd Court. What are the names of my prosecutors? You Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley of the District Attorney's Office? No. You Public Defender, Julie Sianka, $140,000 salary, and you Assistant Public Defender, Mark Phillips, your $87,000 salary? No. So this is the Freedom of Information Law dated this Tuesday, February 13th, 2024. Who's the freaking sociopath responsible for sending me to jail 6 times? And there were multiple freaks as sociopaths. I'm not contacting you for information on this Google product that is YouTube that you don't have. Why appear in a courtroom in these disgusting, repulsive star chambers of Pembroke Town Court, New York State Supreme Court? I have a prosecutor assigned to that court appearance, and it's a prosecutor who doesn't know a fucking thing about what's happened to me. It's a prosecutor who stands there in idiot silence before the corrupt judge and allows me to be declared guilty when the idiot judge doesn't know anything either. So, on this February 13th, it's going to arrive in the early morning hours before you get into the office. I hope. So, Freedom of Information Law, February 13th, 2024. Documentation of the case of Christopher Chichester before John Pillenzo Jr. in Pembroke Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath that sent me to Monroe County Jail is right here. Is Julie Hahn, the freaking sociopath, who's now on Monroe County Court with 17% of the vote, where she's defeated by 14 points. State legislation needs to revise these laws that allows defeated judges, 1, to be on the court, and 2, judges who are not even close to a majority, like Alex Renzi is 25%. So, who is it? This bald-headed $28,000 psychopath widow, Paul C. Metzer, took the place of John Pillenzo Jr. I know what this boy looks like. I know what this boy looks like in his 3-piece suit. And you at the District Attorney's Office and Public Defender's Office know his name. What's his name? The documentation for the case for Christopher Chichester for Paul C. Metzer in Pembroke Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath boy is right here. What's his name? He didn't utter one word before Paul C. Metzer. He can't utter one word. It's impossible for him to talk in court and describe a crime I've committed. Is this the way it works in the United States of America? For you at the District Attorney's Office, where the prosecutor stands in idiot silence before the corrupt judge to allow the defendant to be delivered to jail that hasn't committed a crime? And the answer is that yes, that's the way it works for you. So, this next Freedom of Information Law, I have to appeal before the exalted one, Alex Renzi, because of $73,000 free cop Michael Houlihan, and $85,000 free cop Don Benedetto hiding on the private property of my neighbor. I'm not going to talk about that now. But I have a prosecutor assigned to this appearance because these 2 free cops hiding on private property in Pembroke, New York. Is it legal for the cops to hide on private property? Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley, Julie Sianka, Mark Phillips. What's the answer? So, Freedom of Information Law, February 13, 2024. Documentation for the case of Christopher Chichester for Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath is right here. Who is it? I'm in Livingston County Jail because he's a freaking sociopath. My last appearance before the exalted one. His exact words to me were, quote, "You're finished and done." That's not true. Because I come on here to inflame you, psychopaths, at the District Attorney's Office and Sheriff's Office, and you know, all it takes is one judge. All you know is you can send me a document in the mail that forces me into the corrupt judge, or you just follow me somewhere in Rochester, New York, to take me to the corrupt judge. This is why Todd Baxter's bald head is drenched in fanaticism and extremism. Because he knows he can do this to me. And this is why this pathetic, disgusting, sickening psychopath in Donna Karan that calls herself Sandra Doorley knows she can do this to me. Because she knows the corrupt one judge exists. She knows her prosecutor doesn't have to talk in court. So who is it? Before John P. Lomenzo Jr., Paul C. Metzler, and Alex Renzi. And this right here is the payroll for the district attorney's office. And if the freaking sociopath is still there at your little shack at 47 South Michu in Rochester, New York, then who is it? And if the freaking sociopath left voluntarily or was fired, I don't care about that because I want to pursue disbarment for every single one of these freaks and sociopaths. So on the payroll here, Perry Douglas 113,918, Matthew Schwartz 106,742, Mark Monahan 112,508, Michelle Crowley 100,754, Cyrus Van Stradek 104,399, Raymond J. Benitez 104,449, Robin Catalano 107,292, Elizabeth D. Buckley 104,474, Michael J. Harrigan 102,686. So those are $100,000 employees. You all know. Because when I say you all know, if you watch me at this 6 minutes, you can just print out the PDF of the Freedom of Information Law I just read and bring it to the administrative person and tell them to disclose the names of my prosecutors. And when I say you all know, if the freaking sociopath still works at the district attorney's office, then you know that freaking sociopath. So, if I was asked in the 4th grade at Wing Street Elementary School in Long Island by my teacher, Gail Riley, Chris, can a defendant in a courtroom go to jail in New York if the prosecutor in the courtroom doesn't talk and accuse that defendant of a crime? I would have said at 9 years old, hypothetically, to Mrs. Gail Riley, no. Because at 9 years old, I would have known something's wrong with that. You don't know something's wrong with that. And neither does bald-headed widow Paul C. Metzler, John P. Lomenzo Jr., who released accused sexual predator Daniel Out III, and Alex Renzi, a graduate of Emory University Law School in Atlanta, Georgia. They're in the top 500. So, who is it? You all know. And you're all going to refuse to disclose the names to me. It's the payroll of the sheriff's office here. Michael Rabbit, Kathleen Miller, Scott O'Brien, William Tadell paid $101,000. On the first page of the payroll here are two of my favorite employees from the sheriff's office. Because this is going to capture the attention I'm confident of state control of Thomas P. DiNapoli. Todd Baxter paid $132,000 to duly elected sheriff from Monroe County. I'm going to read these 6-figure ones here, just on the first page. But the two most important 6-figure cops at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office are on the first page. Because they paid more money than Todd Baxter. Not by $10,000. Not by $20,000. It's more than $20,000. So here is Corey K. Brown, 1553664, who's paid $23,000 more than Sheriff Todd Baxter. And then here is Michael T. Fowler, 163877, who's paid $31,000 more than Todd Baxter. That's astounding and sickening. The boss everywhere should always make the most money. I worked for Congressman Mark Smith of Texas and Senator Olympia Snowe of Maine on Capitol Hill when I was a U.S. Senate and U.S. House staffer. Staffers for members of Congress are not paid more than the member of Congress. Because if that happened, the Washington Post, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and editorial writers everywhere in the United States of America would go nuts condemning this type of corruption. Do you understand what I just said? Staffers who I worked on Capitol Hill are not paid more money than the duly elected senator and House member. But in the Jonestown, that's the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, two employees on the first page of the payroll here are paid $20,000 or more than Todd Baxter. So, 155, 366, 64 cents. Again, why this matters? 64 cents. How does he come up with 64 cents? Because he's a ridiculous, sickening Jonestown Kool-Aid drinker, separated from the truth. 163, 877, 48 cents. He pays his employees in cents because this Jonestown Kool-Aid drinker, Todd Baxter, has no sense. Just like on the second page of the payroll, here is Scott O'Berty, 132213. You're copied on here, Scott, because I have your email. You paid the same exact money as the sheriff of Monroe County, and there's not one citizen of Monroe County that voted for you, Scott. And right below your name on the payroll is Andrew Yale at 8407716 I go to a defunct gym in Penfield called PW Fitness. I'm on the bench press. Up walks to me this psychopath criminal, Jermaine Albaman. He stands over me, punches me in the head. My head snaps back. Who did I just harass, Scott? Who did I just harass, William? Who did I just harass, Kathleen? Who did I just harass, Michael? I didn't harass anyone. We go out to the vehicle. Andrew Alley tells me to wait in the backseat of the vehicle. He tells Jermaine Bevan 7 words to say to me, and those 7 words are, I want to press charges against you. With those 7 words, I'm charged with harassment for second. Andrew Alley here on the payroll below you, Scott, on the second page of the payroll. He's given a $5,000 raise. So, Jonestown has been in the language for America since 900 plus followers of cult leader Jim Jones drank Flavor Aid in the Guyanese jungle in South America. And this is where the phrase, I'm sure you all know, drinking the Kool-Aid comes from. You're all Kool-Aid drinkers. I'm confident, Scott, when I say to you, I didn't harass anybody, and I'm in jail. It doesn't matter to you. Because the blue wall silence from you is going to descend on Andrew Alley. And you'll just think he's a Monroe County Sheriff Office employee, so he can do whatever he wants. Just like Richard J. Seaton violently attacking me at the Penfield Public Library, which I've talked about now repeatedly for a year. So, all those Freedom of Information Law documents I just read before November 15th. Sandra Doorley got this registered mail return receipt, the same language, on November 15th. I'm not going to read the same language again because I just did, but the first 2 graphs here, I sent it to the district attorney's office. She looks right at it. The FOIL was included with this date. She ignores the law, and this is why she's corrupt. Sandra Doorley attached the Freedom of Information Law document dated November 15, 2023 that compels you to disclose the names of our prosecutors' silence. I prosecute Hospital John P. Lemons, Virginia, Penfield Town Court, Paul C. Lemons, Penfield Town Court, House, Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. Mail the names of my prosecutors' silence for address listed below District Attorney Doorley. Today, you will continue to refuse to disclose the names of these freaks that mislead the spark and practice of law that have delivered me to jail 6 times without uttering one word in court. Do you understand? It's called injustice. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You're a threat to justice everywhere in Monroe County. You party-switching psychopath is Sarah Flint. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere is from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail. That's why I use this. This is not exaggeration or hysteria to say you're a threat to justice everywhere, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, because you'll believe anything these freaks and sociopaths at the sheriff's office say, because you don't want to jeopardize your relationship, your professional relationship with Sheriff Todd Baxter. And for you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, to question his freaks and psychopaths, if in fact they're concocting crimes for innocent citizens in Monroe County, is going to cause strain with your professional relationship with the Sheriff of Monroe County, which you want to avoid. That's why you and your fellow Jonestown Kool-Aid drinkers, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, will believe every single lie that exits these freaks and sociopaths that work for Todd Baxter out of Shannon Meyer, Michael Houlihan, Don Benedetto, Andrew Yalley, and Leela Roque. Every single lie you, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, will believe from the employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. She had the nothingness of life. So who is it? You know who it is. And you're going to continue to refuse to disclose the names of these freaks and sociopaths and psychopaths to me, because you do not know it constitutes a criminal act, criminal complaints attached in PDF. I'm going to be in jail. I haven't committed a crime. Tell a man on his tractor from Brockville tree in lawn care. Nobody owns this land next to my res. Walk back my rents. I'm going to say this again. I walk outside here, stand around here, say nobody owns the land, walk back my rents. That's not a crime. A violent attack, charged with arrest for sex in the backseat of an Andrew Reality's police vehicle, that's not a crime. These individuals have not been arrested. These individuals have not been prosecuted. These individuals have not been jailed. When every single one of these individuals is a criminal. Every single one of these individuals have committed criminal acts. These are the criminal acts. July 22nd, 2023. Todd, Baxter, Sheriff, 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York, 14604. Sandra, Doorley, District Attorney, 47 South Fitchie Street, Rochester, New York, 14604. Attach a 4 criminal complaints with this language. The Richard J. Stephen Montgomery Sheriff's Office walked into Penfield Public Library, ran a Christopher Chichester, slammed his arm at Chichester, causing him to fall backwards, hit his head on ceramic tile floor. 2, quote, Nayrod Shot, Layla Kumar Shot, 2033 Penfield Road, Penfield, New York, 14526, false reporting incident of Christopher Chichester, formerly 26 cents from driving his walk to a parking lot next to his residence. 3, quote, Antonio Spano, Fairport, and locked the front and back doors of his residence, 26 cents from driving Penfield, New York, without a court order, end quote. 4, quote, Laura Riley, Webster, New York, transported the person belongs to Christopher Chichester, 26 cents from driving Penfield, New York, to a storage locker in Webster, New York, without a court order. These are crimes. Each individual cannot be arrested or prosecuted. There is a 1 day in jail. Several of these crimes destroy my life because you're incapable of identifying crimes, cop crimes for innocent citizens. You hate the human condition. 2 links. Rejection. 4 paradox of Mark Monahan. Unconstitutional for Sheriff Baxter, District Attorney Sandra, Doorley, Judge Alex Renzi, and they say resign. So, corruption-wise repetition. I've been holding this up for a year now. I just did when I was on here 48 hours ago. Richard J. Stephen, criminal complaint about him violently attacking me. He should be in out-of-state prison for violently attacking me. This is not jail. Nayrod Shot, Layla Kumar Shot, falsely reported an incident. Me walked through this parking lot in Penfield, New York. This is the very definition, the very essence of false reporting an incident. He's just going to blow off the law and ignore the law because his freak who lives with his mother, this 50-year-old freak who has nothing in his life, that lives with his 70-year-old mother, just to ignore him falsely reporting this as a crime by me and walk through the parking lot when he's the one committing the crime. It's a crime in the state of New York to go to the police and report something that's not a crime. So, here it is right here. My New York's 4,000-time criminal. Because that's how many times I walked through that parking lot. Penfield High School students are red alert apparel and not arrested for walking through that parking lot. My excellent friend Adam, who lived next to me, is not arrested for walking through that parking lot. The other woman who lived across the street from me is not arrested from walking through that parking lot. That's why people hate the police. Scott Alberti, this freak Shannon Meyer. You know her? She should be fired immediately. Todd Baxter gave her a $16,000 raise. It's a crime in the state of New York to lock the doors without a court order. It's a crime in the state of New York to take everything from a citizen's residence without a court order, even when the citizen doesn't have a lease. Do you just fail to understand what I just said? Perry Knuckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buck, Michelle Crowd, District Attorney's Office. If you watch me here at this 18 minutes, it requires a court order, even for a citizen without a lease. Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York, locked the front and back doors of the residence for years, 26 cents, 7 years, residence 26 cents from drive, in Penfield, New York, without a court order. Going to take everything to a storage locker. It's a crime. My ex-girlfriend I've known for 30 years is smashing me into a million little pieces with this old man, Antonio Spano, Fairport, New York. 2 people decided I'm not going to live in my residence anymore for 8 years. Laura Webster, New York, transported the personal belongings of Christopher Chichester, 26 cents from driving Penfield, New York, to a storage locker in Webster, New York, without a court order. Legal Aid Society. So obvious what the law is. I'm going to find the exact part of the law when I'm on here in the next 7 days. I'm going to cite it. Legal Aid Society. So old. I've been holding this up. I've held this up 100 times. Right here. Legal Aid Society, know your rights. I have rights. I have civil and constitutional rights that you ignore. Just like you ignore the law. Is it illegal for your landlord to change the lock, shut off utilities, and physically remove the belongings without a court order for eviction? I just read the criminal complaints. You failed to understand these crimes that are being committed? And the answer is yes, you do. Criminal complaint for perjury. I'm going to be in jail for telling a man on his tractor nobody owns the land next to my rights, when in fact that's true. And when, even if there is ownership by some miracle, there's a Vatican intervention and there's land ownership next to this residence here that you can see in this photograph where I used to live. It's still not a crime to tell a man on his tractor nobody owns land next to it and walk back in my residence. Michael Land lies under oath. He's not going to be fired. He's not going to be arrested. He's not going to be jailed. Nothing's going to happen to him for lying under oath. This is how we lied under oath. Text criminal complaint for perjury 73312 Michael Land, Montgomery Sheriff's Office. The 73312 Michael C. Lynn, the Mount County Sheriff's Office, walked onto the private property costing the residents 26 cents from Drive, Pemberton, North Christopher, Chichester. That Houlihan ran to Chichester approximately 1 a.m. with $85,000 down Benedetto of Sheriff's Office. That Chichester ran away from Houlihan and Benedetto. I want to wear the identities. That Chichester grabbed a hammer alongside his residence next to his bike, used to fix the bike's tire. That Chichester placed his foot on the first of 3 steps. On the back porch, Houlihan grabbed his arm. The hammer in Chichester's hands forced upwards. And Chichester ran across the back porch through a sliding glass door, and Chichester never stopped running. Is it possible swing the hammer 73312 Michael Houlihan? I would have said this to the grand jury. Director of the grand jury, Michelle Crowley. Why don't you call me to the grand jury? Because I'm your ham sandwich. That's why. I'm confident, as I've said now repeatedly, I have a strong case you can be disbarred. And you're not going to be fired. Even though I have this case against you. Because how do you explain that the grand jury's impaneled when I don't know, 1, and 2, since I don't know, I can't testify before? Why don't you just call me to a district attorney's office for an interview? Because I would have said all this, and I would have added detail to this. Then you don't have to impanel the grand jury. Because you want to obliterate me with these idiots. How does the voir dire work as far as you picking these idiots? Did you pick these idiots from me, Michelle Crowley? Because you want the stupidest people you can manipulate on this grand jury. Did you see the body camera footage for 73312 Michael Houlihan that was played for me by Regina Harper, the public defender? Or not? I'm confident the answer to that is no. I'm going to write all this down. I have contacted you previously. It's been a significant time, I think about a year. But I'm going to write what I just said down on paper and address it to you. And then I'm going to use registered mail return receipt. It's going to come back to me just like this came back to me for the Exalted 1 ounce Renzi. And you're not going to be fired, Michelle Crowley. Nothing's going to happen to you. But what gives me hope about you, Michelle Crowley, is that Sandra Doorley will protect you. You can't be protected by the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court, which, from my research, is where an attorney is disbarred. There's no protection whatsoever for you, you sickening, repulsive, disgusting fucking hack, Michelle Crowley, inside that district attorney's office from Sandra Doorley when I pursue your disbarment. Because Sandra Doorley has nothing to do with that. It's the Appellate Division of State Supreme Court. You're one of these freaks and sociopaths, Michelle Crowley, district attorney's office. Why I don't have clothes? That says XL. There was 6 in here. I have to go to the Goodwill to buy clothes because of freaking sociopath district attorney's office like you, Michelle Crowley. So, Michelle Crowley has been at the district attorney's office since October 9, 2012. I'll guess you have not been the director of the grand jury for the 12 years since 2012. I'll guess, I don't know. So, Michelle Crowley, for however long it's been that you've been the director of the grand jury, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, have you always impaneled the grand jury where the target of the grand jury doesn't know? Have you always impaneled a grand jury where the target of the grand jury is not interviewed by you? What's the answer? Please don't answer. Fanaticism on this little room in Pamphlet Court. I got this when I got out of Monroe County Jail the first time. This is how easy it is to be in jail because of a psychopath cop and a corrupt judge. And a freak like Nayron Shaw lives in his mother. Monroe County Sheriff's Office, history to be made. Nonsense. Nonsense. This state legislature needs to change this law to prevent freak cops like this Shannon Meyer from just being able to concoct the crime out of thin air for an innocent citizen. Nonsense. I'm nonsensed because it's impossible for a prosecutor, whoever it is, to make an argument and sentence me to jail where I have a sentence for telling a man on his track that nobody owns the land next to my house to walk back my rents. It's impossible for me to be sentenced to jail when I'm violently attacked and charged with harassment seconds sitting in the backseat of the vehicle. This is what's so frightening about this nauseating, disgusting, sickening Pamphlet Court and other courts in Monroe County, and it has to be in courts throughout the United States if this says nonsense. That means any judge in Monroe County in the state of New York can sentence you to jail and keep you in jail and hold you in jail like Paul C. Metz was doing to me in Livingston County when you're nonsensed. I don't know the full ramifications, or I'm still unable to completely understand nonsensed. But when I say completely understand, what I do understand is one corrupt judge in Monroe County, state of New York, can sentence you to jail without a sentence where you don't know if it's 6 months or 12 months and then hold you in jail. That's why I'm non-sentenced. Paul C. Messer can do this to any one of the 36,000 citizens in Penn Court. James Wiley Jr. can do this to any of the 36,000 citizens in Penn Court to just non-sentence someone to jail. Does that concern you all as officers of courts? And it doesn't. It doesn't. Just like when I say I own nothing and have nothing, everything's gone. I just have to have this in a box of what little I have left. Rochester Running Company. This is from a 5K I ran along the Erie Canal Fairport. This is one of my favorite races. A picture on my Facebook page of me at this race. It says Fairport Brewing Company behind me. I'm wearing this light blue singlet on my Facebook page. I think it's this number. I would run a race, and I had this chandelier in my living room, and I'd put the running singlet on the chandelier with the number on it. I usually metal, and I put the metal on top of there. And race after race, I have more things hanging on the chandelier. And a friend of mine came over one time, and she said, you have those medals and those jerseys on that chandelier, and you're running out of places to put your medals and jerseys. And I said to my friend, yeah, I know. So I don't have the jersey that this number was affixed to. And this is because Antonio spot on. That's why. Because everything's gone. So you're going to continue to refuse to disclose the names of these freaks and sociopaths and psychopaths? I told you here on this January 24th. Right up here. Here's all your emails up here. Does it matter, Mark Phillips, that I'm violently attacked by Richard J. Siegman? Because the link is right here. Does it matter, public defender Julie Sianka, that Michael Luhan lies under oath? Because the link is right here. Does it matter, director of local courts Elizabeth Buckley? Why say fanaticism, Todd Baxter? Does it matter that I'm talking about fanaticism, Todd Baxter, director of local courts Elizabeth Buckley, where I'm arrested telling a man on his track that nobody owns land next to my rights right here? Does that matter at all? And the answer is that it doesn't. Julie M. Hahn, August 29, 2023. Are you the prosecutor unable to talk to Penn Court fine appearance for $34,000 job P. Lenzo Jr. and delivered to Monroe County Jail? And it goes on from there with these links here to you. Not one word from her. So, this January 19th arrived in Sheriff's Office, District Attorney's Office, registered mail return receipt. What's not to understand? Who is it? I think I sent a 5-day period, or it could be 5 times in a 7-day period, where I was writing, what's not to understand, who is it? That was the cover letter every time. And when I write, what's not to understand, who is it? I'm going to send this to you, Elizabeth Buckley. I have this December 21, 2023 letter that's included here. I've been in jail 6 times, Monroe County Jail, Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail, in Geneseo, New York. And this man, 6 times a free prosecutor didn't make an argument in court that I committed a crime. Because it's a possible argument. How am I in jail when a prosecutor whiles in total silence? How am I in jail when a prosecutor whiles in total silence 6 times? Their answers. Tell me your answers. Attached are 3 Freedom of Information Law documents dated December 21, 2023 with this language. And it's the language that I just read on December 21. It's in the district attorney's office. She looks right at it. The district attorney of Monroe County. Well, I'm telling her to disclose the names of my prosecutor silence. She refuses. And this is why she's corrupt. November 20th, same documentation I just read here. I'm also demanding, if you use taxpayer, I'll settle what's commonly called sexual harassment lawsuits. So I have 3 foils here on November 20th. This is why she's corrupt. Your boss. Perry Knuckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley. What's the answer to sexual harassment lawsuits? It's a term I don't use. I'm confident you animals are sexually harassing each other every day at 47 South Fitzhugh. To cost the taxpayers, Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Doorley expended taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits, failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The cost of taxpayers, Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter expended taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits, failed to comply with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Right here, on this document that is in the district attorney's office. Chains. Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, Alex Renzi. I use that word chains because I'm in chains because of you freaks. Where I'm again demanding you disclose the names of our prosecutor silence with a foil. Sham. Because you're a sham. Because you're fake. Because you're phony. Because you're frauds at that sheriff's office, the district attorney's office. I'm telling you to disclose the names of our prosecutor silence. I read the 4 criminal complaints here. Court order law rally. on YouTube. I'm telling my ex-girlfriend to tell me about the facts and circumstances of me being evicted without a court order and everything being taken to a storage locker without a court order. She refused. Names of Sandra Doorley. Again, I'm telling her to disclose the names I prosecuted. Simple and basic as it gets. Vanished. Sheriff Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley, and Alex Renzi. You vanished from life, from decency, from justice, from morality. You completely vanished, you freaks and sociopaths, at the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. Broken glasses, 75904 Richard Seaton, the sheriff's office. Todd Baxter looks at this, where it says on YouTube, broken glasses, 75904 Richard Seaman, and the blue wall silence is going to protect Richard Seaman. Well, for this 20 minutes, I'm talking about this violent criminal psychopath slamming his arm at the side of my head in the Penfield Public Library, and it doesn't matter to Todd Baxter. He knows about the blue wall silence. He's seen it on TV. He's talked about the blue wall silence when he was up in Greece before he was the sheriff. It is one of the most famous realities for the police in the United States of America. And the blue wall silence from Todd Baxter is now protecting Richard J. Seaton. So it's the final thing here. November 13th that I'm going to read, and I'm going to be done because I could throw up as I repeatedly say. I could feel myself getting nauseous when I have to use your names. So I say here, these first two graphs, November 13th, this is why she's corrupt, the district attorney. Attached to Freedom of Information Law document dated November 13, 2023, that compels you to disclose the names I prosecute silence. I prosecute silence with John P. Lemons, Virginia Penn Court, Paul C. Lemons, Penn Court, Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court. Mail the names I prosecute silence from an address listed below you, party switching psychopath and Donna Coran, District Attorney Sandra Doorley Capiche. You refuse to disclose the names. These freaks that have delivered me to jail 6 times because every inch of your nauseating existence is corrupt. Every inch of your nauseating existence, District Attorney Sandra Doorley is corrupt. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I've been an innocent man my whole life.